Hi, guys.
What an entrance.
Hi, guys.
What an entrance.
It's 100 Huntley Street, just in case you're wondering, friends. But this is February the 13th.
No, it's not February.
I mean, Friday the 13th, pardon me. Not February. Friday the 13th, exhaust fumes. And this is the day that about 250,000 bikers.
250,000.
Yeah, will be in Port Dover, Ontario. It's a tradition on Friday the 13th. And if you're in the Toronto area at all, you'll see.
Ooh, is that a liner?
Yeah, it keeps the helmet from bouncing around in the wind when you're driving.
I thought it was keeping your hair from being messed.
No, it also keeps your hair from being messed. So there's so many bikers come in there that a few times in the past they've actually had to close the town down.
It's just a little town.
Yeah, because the fire marshal says, if there was a fire, there'd be no fire lanes. Because you're going to see
like
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of motorcycles.
I've been there actually doing a story on the Christian bikers, doing an outreach there, because it does have a reputation for being a bit on the shady side, especially as night comes. But Christian bikers are out there, trying to make a difference. Only 5,000 people in Port Dover. So 250,000 people descending on a town.
I know, it's unbelievable. Why don't you sit down, guys?
That's a lot of pressure on the fish and chips.
Yeah. And that's a great place for fish and chips. Kathy and I often ride to Port Dover just for the fish and chips.
Right on Lake Erie.
Right on Lake Erie. And you sit there on the beach at this fish and chips place, and right between you and the beach are 4 palm trees. And I remember the first time I saw it, I said, palm trees? How do they survive? What they do is they take them out in the fall and put them back in the spring.
Now listen, speaking of palm trees, the temperature's tropical right now, and you are dressed to the nines. Are you not hot?
No, you know what? The Bedouins taught us something. These are the desert dwellers. That you get a certain critical mass, if you will, with heat, where you're actually better to be covered than uncovered.
Really?
And what they discovered is that black is a great insulator. And it's absolutely true. Like, Kath and I will be out there sometimes, it's 35, 36 degrees, and you actually feel comfortable. Now, you know why? If we can get a close-up here. You see, these jackets are designed, you've got these zippers that open up. I don't know if you can see the vents or not.
Oh, they got holes.
They got holes. And then the pockets here, they open up. And then there's a thing at the back that opens up, and so the air just flows right through you when you're riding. And but you don't have the exposure of the sun and the wind on your skin. Like, I see people on bikes, in tank tops and shorts, and I think, how can they do this? I mean, I'm sure they figure they can do it very well, but
we've always been told black attracts the heat.
No, well, it does.
Yeah.
But when it's really hot, and you got your own 90. What's our body temperature? 96 or something?
98.6.
98.6.
Yeah.
98.6.
We know something you don't know, for once.
I know, it just reaches kind of a balance point, and it's amazing the difference a leather jacket makes.
Okay, I'm guessing about the big army boots.
Oh yeah,
that's a heavy bike.
Now see these boots here. Now the reason you wear a big boot is not only for protection. These have steel toes, but see the sole. See, when you stop a bike at a light or something and you put your feet down, if your feet slip out, your bike falls down. So this is why you want to have really good boots. And then, of course, I wear gloves, and then we wear chaps, and I didn't wear those today. They're leather leggings,
in case you go off the bike.
In case you go off the bike, and it also protects you from the wind. If you are driving, especially in cool air, the wind can really, affect your legs, and they get all covered with bugs,
A bug trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a target. Bug target.
When I was a teenager, I had a boyfriend with a bike, and I burnt my leg on the exhaust pipe.
Oh, yeah.
I did that
and I had a scar for like that burn was there for years and years and years.
So you both rode behind guys on bikes?
Yes.
Really?
Again, Cheryl?
Yes.
Well, give me a high five. That's terrific.
Right, we're not total losers here. We've been on bikes.
A lot of women will never go on a motorcycle, and there's a lot of frustrated husbands out there, who wish their wife would get on the back, but there's no way that they would ever, because they find it very, very scary.
Well, there's a lot of hog envy out there, Jim. Look at this picture. I brought this just for you today. I want to thank Pastor Greg. Hog lovers come in all sizes.
Look at that, eh? He's got a little. By the way, where did this come from? Look at the back of this. Look at the back of this hat. There we go.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, Port Dover, Canada.
Wow. Wow.
Where did that come
I
from?
think I think our producer must have come up with that. She's a bit of a genius.
Jen, you've got connections.
Well, you know, I'm a bike enthusiast. I'm actually thinking of getting my motorcycle license, and all because I rented an e-scooter, which isn't anywhere near your Harley. I have a picture actually on Niagara-on-the-Lake just a couple weeks ago. It's just charged. It's actually no gas. You just do it with a charge. Rode it all day, all around the Niagara region. It was one of the most beautiful days. Like just the wind, your uninstructed sight lines. I just love being on a bike.
Kathy describes riding a motorcycle like a magic carpet, and it's really true. You feel like you're just kind of floating across the landscape, and it's a wonderful feeling. And people say to me, well, you know, Jim, you're a father, you're a grandfather, you're...
This is a little life-threatening,
I mean, this is dangerous. And without being facetious, I say, so's life. Life is dangerous. Just waking up in the morning is dangerous. And in fact, if you really want to avoid...
any risk of injury.
Well, if you really want to avoid death, just stay out of bed, because most people die in bed. You know, and I know that sounds a little facetious, but it's true. By the way, I need to add a little bit to my lesson yesterday about yeoman. Okay. Oh. Yeah.
You've done some research.
Yeah, well, I just did it. I thought, you know, this was the old ancient view of it, but a yeoman was also a minor landowner, and he could vote for a knight of his shire. And a yeoman also was seen as a steady, dependable kind of person.
So yeoman service.
Yeoman service means that you're very dependable. And there's also yeoman is also used in a modern sense in the Navy. There's certain men on the ship that are called yeomen, but it has a totally different meaning. But
you just don't know what you're going to learn on this program.
And it's so nice that you said that about me yesterday. Thank you.
Did you call Cheryl a yeoman?
That's how it all started.
I did. Well, I said you were doing yeoman service, and in case you're watching for the first time in a while, Cheryl's sitting in for Ron and Ann Maines. Now, we need to talk about the hour, right?
Great hour for you. Singer-songwriter Nancy Honeytree. Does that ring some bells? A pioneer in the field of contemporary Christian music. She's actually been nicknamed First Lady of Jesus Music, being one of the very few female soloists to emerge from the Jesus movement. Many people were converted through her ministry 3 decades ago. I'm sure you've sung her songs. Wait till you hear what she's up to today.
You know, I hadn't heard of her for years. You interviewed her?
Did, at Breakforth.
Oh, at Breakforth in Edmonton.
Everybody goes.
And she's still doing it, eh? She's still out there.
And you know, I'm not that old, but I actually grew up in the Jesus movement. It's just part of it. My parents were in everything that had to do with Jesus. They were so on fire when they got to know him. And I was always at those, you know, big campouts and music festivals and mini Woodstocks, hippie things.
Really?
Your guest wants Nancy Honeytree to come to his church.
Oh, well, maybe you can organize that for him.
We're gonna try.
Mark Wilson's his name, and he's written a book, Filled Up and Poured Out. He's a Wesleyan pastor in Wisconsin. He pastors in a little town with great impact. In fact, the town has about 2,100 people, and he has his main church, and he's got 4 church plants. Altogether, he's got 1,000 people attending his church. I'm not sure how many churches in Canada or America can say that 50% of their population is attending their church. I mean, he's quite the guy, and you're going to love his book, you're going to love him. Okay, we got to move right along, and we'll be right back.